Someone forget that it was the last Friday of the month last week? Maybe. Don't judge me. It was a busy month. Oh, so it is past time for booking forward to all the books that come out in August, and I've got quite the list this month, so let's go ahead and get to it. In no particular order. These are not ranked by date or by level of interest, because that would require too much work. First off, we've got coming out August 5th, The Magician of Tiger. That is by Louis Sicard. Long ago and far away, and somewhere south of France, lies the kingdom of Esquivita. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. There, Princess Tulia is in nearly as much peril as her struggling kingdom. Esquivita desperately needs to forge an alliance, and to that end, Tulia's father has arranged a marriage between her and an odious prince. However, 1 month before the wedding of the century, Tulia falls in love with a lowly apprentice scribe. The king turns to Anatole, his much-maligned magician. 17 years earlier, when Anatole, probably Anatoly, I'm probably saying that wrong, first came to the castle, he was regarded as something of a prodigy, but after a long series of failures, the latest being an attempt to transform sand into gold, he has become the object of contempt and ridicule. The only one who still believes in him is the princess. When the king orders Anatoly to brew a potion that will ensure Tulia agrees to the wedding, Anatoly is faced with an impossible choice. With one chance to save the marriage, the kingdom, and of most importance to him, his reputation, will he betray the princess or risk ruin? Sounds ridiculous, but also sounds ridiculously fun. Looking forward to that one. And then one of my favorite authors, T. Kingfisher's got a new book coming out August 19th called Hemlock and Silver. Healer Anja regularly drinks poison, not to die, but to save, seeking cures for those everyone else has given up on. But a summons from the king interrupts her quiet, herb-possessed life. His daughter, Snow, is dying, and he hopes Anja's I have no idea. I'm going with Anja. Unorthodox methods can save her. Aided by a taciturn guard, a narcissistic cat, and a passion for the scientific method, Anja rushes to treat Snow, but nothing seems to work. That is, until she finds a secret world hidden inside a magic mirror. This dark realm may hold the key to what is making Snow sick, or it might be the thing that kills them all. Alright, so, it's T. Kingfisher. We're all going to read it. We know that. It's just going to happen. Alright, what else we got? Now, this one, I don't normally do a lot of sequels, but let's face it, if you're following this series, you're going to be reading it anyhow. Because L.E. Medessit Jr., Book 25. Holy crud, what a series. Submajors, at least I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced, Submajors Challenge comes out August 19th. I'm just going to tell you now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of these names right, so just bear with me. Aliakal, a submajor in the Mirror's Lancers of Sayador, the Empire of Light, is serving the last year of his tour as commanding officer of a remote border post. Rumors hint that the Surlinese Duke, in retaliation for Aliakal's success in a border skirmish, is readying an even larger attack. Against terrible odds, Aliakal gains victory and a promotion. He takes leave only to discover his courtship of Saelora is opposed by her mother. Disappointed and reposted to the remote Pamidra post again, Aliakal must navigate a rapidly developing war. In the midst of this, when forces outnumbering his command 5-1 attack a small town, Aliakal is given orders to drive out the invaders, whatever the cost. So, that one, it's Medessit. Come on now. You guys know you're going to be checking that out. I am not that far deep into that series, so I will not be reading it anytime soon, but some of you may be interested in knowing that it is just around the bend. All right. Now for one I've actually read. This one I can tell you is good, absolutely positively. Annalee Newitz's Automatic Noodle comes out August 5th. A cozy near-future novella about a crew of leftover robots opening their very own noodle shop. I could tell you more about it, but I'm going to leave it at that. There is a review out there already for it, and if you want to hang around until Monday, I'll be dropping the interview with Annalee Newitz that we had previously. So, again, Automatic Noodle, absolutely worth picking up. All right, what else we got? I told you this is a list this month. Daniel L. Jensen has a new book, Scorched Earth. That's also dropping August 5th. August 5th and August 19th are ridiculous this month. All right, this is a finale to the Dark Shores series. Lydia and Killian escaped their enemy's grasp, but not without consequence. While they race to destroy the Blight, Lydia fights an internal war against the Corruptor's influence, knowing defeat means death for those she loves. Tormented by a battle that can't be won with blades, Killian must find the queen they risked everything to rescue, without falling prey to Corruptor's weapons, both living and dead. Terriana and Marcus thwarted assassination, but now must live with the dark truths that have been revealed. As Terriana hunts for allies, she must face the dire circumstances of her imprisoned people, driving her to strike a dangerous deal with the Empire. Consumed by guilt over his crimes, Marcus embarks on an ambitious campaign to save those he condemned, which risks him becoming the conqueror the Emperor desired him to be. With the Blight consuming everything in its path, and the Empire crushing everyone who stands before it, Rieth is falling beneath the tide of evil. Secrets will be revealed that breaks hearts even as they forge new alliances, but the greatest sacrifices of all will turn the tide in the battle for the liberty of every nation on Rieth. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's just Earth with a few letters mixed around, but hey, go figure. All right. Also on August 5th, oh my word, Black Flame by Gretchen Felker Martin. Now, this is a trade paperback, but it is a trade paperback original, which I'm 99% sure means there's just no hardcover to be had. So, what do we got? A Cursed Film, A Haunted Past, A Deadly Secret. The Baroness, an infamous exploitation film long thought destroyed by Nazi fire, is discovered 50 years later when lonely archivist Ellen Kramer, deeply closeted and pathologically repressed, begins restoring the hedonistic movie. It unspools dark desires, probably hedonistic, from deep within her. This is why I shouldn't do these things first thing in the morning. As Ellen is consumed by visions and voices, she becomes convinced the movie is real and is happening to her, and that frame by frame she is unleashing its occult horrors on the world. Her life quickly begins to spiral out of control, until it all fades to black, and all that remains is a voice asking a question Ellen can't answer but can't get out of her mind. Do you want it more than anything? Got a little horror in there for you. Now this may have already come out in hardcover. I do apologize, but I just found out about it, and it sounds interesting, so I'm throwing it in here anyhow. August 12th, Kirsten Hall has a book coming out called Asunder. We choose our own gods here. Karis Eska is a death speaker, locked into an irrevocable compact with Sebaster, a terrifying eldritch being, three-faced, hundred-winged, unforgiving, who has granted her the ability to communicate with the newly departed. She pays the rent by using her abilities to investigate suspicious deaths around the troubled city she calls home. When a job goes sideways and connects her to a dying stranger with some very dangerous secrets, her entire world is upended. Ferain is willing to pay a ludicrous sum of money for her to help. To save him, Karis inadvertently binds him to her shadow, an act that may doom them both. If they want to survive, they will need to learn to trust one another. Together they must journey to the heart of a fated empire, all the while haunted by arcane horrors and the unquiet ghosts of their past. And all too soon, Karis knows her debts will come due. All right. Like I said, that one may not be brand new, but it's new to me. Sounded cool. Thought I'd let you know about it. The Possession of Alba Diaz, coming out from Isabel Cañas. That's coming out August 25th, so finally a book you get to wait on. When a demonic presence awakens deep in a Mexican silver mine, the young woman it seizes must turn to the one man she couldn't trust. In 1765, plague sweeps through Zacatecas. No idea if I said that right. Alba flees with her wealthy merchant parents and fiancé Carlos to his family's isolated mine for refuge, but safety proves fleeting as other dangers soon bare their teeth. Alba begins suffering from strange hallucinations, sleepwalking, and violent convulsions. She senses something cold lurking beneath her skin, something angry, something wrong. Elias, haunted by a troubled past, comes to the New World to make his fortune and escape his family's legacy of greed. Alba, as his cousin's betrothed, is none of his business, which is, of course, why he can't help but notice her every time she enters a room, or the growing tension between them, and why he notices her deteriorate when the demon's thirst for blood grows stronger. Little bit of romance in that one. I think it's supposed to be coming out August 25th. Oh, I see what I did there. It's the way they wrote it. It's August 19th, 2025. So, 19 August 25. I'm ex-military. I should recognize that. I'm just not used to it anymore. So, All right, August 19th, that's when that comes out. So never mind. I thought 25 was a weird date, but hey, we're all good here. All right, August 12th now. We Are All Guilty Here by Karen Slaughter. I know this is not, science or science fiction or fantasy, but it's a little thriller, a little suspense, a little mystery, so I'm good with that too. The first thrilling mystery in the new North Fall series. So if you're worried about jumping into the middle of one, this is a brand new series by Slaughter. Welcome to North Falls, a small town where everyone knows everyone, or so they think, until the night of the fireworks when two teenage girls vanish and the town ignites. For Officer Emma... Again, but in English. For Officer Emmy Clifton, it's personal. She turned away when her best friend's daughter needed help, and now she must bring her home. But as Emmy combs through the puzzle the girls left behind, she realizes she never really knew them. Nobody did. Every teenage girl has secrets, but who would kill for them, and what else is the town hiding? So I got to at least give you one that's not SFF or horror. Sneak them in there once in a while. All right. Also on August 12th, Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. I know, this one is not my normal thing, but just listen to this description. A retired serial killer's quiet life is upended by an unexpected visitor. To protect her secret, there's only one option left. What's another murder? Lottie Jones thought her crimes were behind her. Decades earlier, she changed her identity and tucked herself away in a small town. Her most exciting nights are the weekly bingo games at the local church and gossiping with her friends. When investigative journalist Plum Dixon shows up on her doorstep asking questions about Lottie's past, and specifically her involvement with numerous unsolved cases, well, Lottie just can't have that. But getting away with murder is hard enough when you're young, and when Lottie receives another annoying knock on the door, she realizes this crime might be the death of her. All right. Again, it sounds fun. I'm probably going to be trying to check that one out, if I can find a slot in my TBR. Okay, August 5th. We're back to August 5th again. The Locked Ward by Sarah Pekkanen. Sarah, sorry if I mispronounced your last name. Whatever the cause, and everyone has a theory, it's the crime of the decade when glamorous Georgia Cartwright, who was adopted as a newborn, is accused of killing the biological daughter of her wealthy Southern family. Georgia is locked in a psychiatric institution where the most violent offenders are held while she awaits trial. The only words she whispers when her estranged twin sister Amanda's visits are, "I didn't do it. You've got to get me out of here." Amanda doesn't trust Georgia, but she can't abandon her in a place so eerie and menacing that it seems to exist in another dimension. Is Georgia the victim of a powerful family that's so... Gotcha. Sorry. Let me start that again. The sentence threw me for a loop. Is Georgia the victim of a powerful family that's so depraved, murder is the least of their crimes? Or is Amanda being led down a path of madness into the web of a master manipulator? Nothing is as it seems in Sarah Pekkanen's The Locked Ward, a shocking psychological thriller about the complex bonds of sisterhood and what happens when they are stretched to the breaking point. Some doors in The Locked Ward should never be opened. We're pulling in the drive. We're getting almost to the end here. All right, this one is another one that's in a series. I have not started this series yet, but it's been on my TBR for a while, so just letting you know. Hannah Nicole Maher's book number 3 in the Assistants to the Villain series. Accomplice to the Villain is going to be coming out August 7th. Yeah, August 7th. That's a weird date. That's dropping on a Friday. Huh. Hey, I'm not judging. I'm just used to books dropping on Tuesdays, so the 7th threw me off there. All right. Once Upon a Time meets The Office. Reward offered. Apprentice to the villain wanted for treason. Light. Magical property damage. Alleged. And one incident involving a weaponized scone. Accurate. Frequently seen with a grumpy frog. Crowned. Judgmental. Answers to Evie or Stop That. Evie Sage didn't mean to become the right-hand woman to the king's most terrifying villain. One minute she was applying for an entry-level position that promised light paperwork and occasional beheadings. And the next she was knee-deep in magical mayhem, murder plots, and an entirely inappropriate crush on her brooding, sharp-jawed, walking disaster of a boss. Now, with the magical prophecy unraveling, assassins showing up in the break room, and a suspicious amount of frogs wearing crowns, Evie has to figure out how to survive her job without setting the kingdom on fire, or her dignity, which is hanging by a very sarcastic thread. Being evil adjacent was never part of the 5-year plan, but then again, neither was falling for the villain. A magical office comedy with grumpy bosses, snarky frogs, and definitely not feelings. All right. Do I know this one is a little romantic-y adjacent? Yes, I do. It still sounds hilarious. I am going to be getting to that series at some point. This one I actually feel bad about. This one I was sent the arc months ago. I still haven't gotten to it. All apologies. I will be getting to this one, hopefully before the book drops. Because August 26th, we're finally getting R.F. Kuang's Catabasis. No idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. 2 graduate students must set aside their rivalry and journey to hell to save their professor's soul, perhaps at the cost of their own. Alice Law has only ever had one goal, to become one of the brightest minds in the field of magic. She has sacrificed everything to make that a reality, her pride, her health, her love, and most definitely her sanity. All to work with Professor Jacob Grimes at Cambridge, the greatest musician in the world. That is until he dies in a magical accident that could possibly be her fault. Grimes is now in hell and she's going in after him, because his recommendation could hold her very future in his now incorporeal hands, and even death is not going to stop the pursuit of her dreams. Nor will the fact that her rival Peter Murdoch has come to the same conclusion. All right. This the last one? All right, down to the last one. Gareth Brown, coming out August 12th, The Society of Unknowable Objects. The world of unknowable objects, magical items that most people have no idea possess powers, has been quiet for decades, but the 3 current members of a secret society have remained watchful, meeting every 6 months in the basement of a bookshop in London. They are pledged to protect their archive of magical items hidden away, safe from the outside world, and the world safe from them. But when Frank Simpson, the longest-standing member of the Society of Unknowable Objects, hears of a new artifact coming to light in Hong Kong, he sends Magda Sparks, author by day and newest member, to investigate. Within hours of arriving in Hong Kong, Magda is facing death and danger, confronted by a professional killer who seems to know all about unknowable objects, specifically one that was stolen from him a decade before. Magda is forced to flee using an artifact that not even the rest of the society knows about. Returning to London, Magda learns hers is not the only secret being kept from the other 2 members, and that the most pernicious secret is about the nature of the society's mission. Her discoveries will lead her on a perilous journey across the Atlantic to the deep south of the United States. Now in pursuit of not an unknowable object, but an unknowable, the professional killer she first faced in Hong Kong, in doing so, Magda begins to understand that there are even more in the world who are chasing these magical items, and that her own family's legacy is tied up in keeping all these secrets under wraps. Magic has always been too powerful to reveal to the world, but Magda will learn there might be something even more, the truth. Gareth Brown's been one of those ones that's been on my radar for a while, and I have not gotten around to reading him yet. May have to start with this one. Looks really interesting. Obviously, though, there are more books coming out in August that I want to read than I will probably get to read. So we will just see how it goes. We'll see who makes the cut. All right, that is it. It is bright and early this morning. Anyhow, what else do we got going on? Nothing super exciting, other than what was already mentioned. Obviously, we've got the interview with Annalee Newitt's coming out on Monday. Her book drops on Tuesday. That is one of my books that I was looking forward to, if I hadn't already read it, but it had been on my list. That's why I read it. So that one, like I said, absolutely, you're going to love that one. Pick it up. It's not very long. Nice little palate cleanser if you're looking for one of those. And then only other major thing I've got going on next week is hopefully we're going to make up the interview with Cassandra Kaw. Don't know when that's going to be yet, so I don't know when it's going to drop. Her book is already out, Library at Hellbore. I did a review for that one. It was excellent. Like I said, that came out like a week and a half ago, maybe. So if you haven't picked that one up yet, definitely pick it up. It was excellent, and that interview is coming up. just as soon as we get that scheduled. I don't think any. What does the rest of August look like? Got the Newitz one coming up. Got the rescheduled call one coming up. And by the end of the month, we're also going to have a live stream with Josh from Already Overbooked, and then an interview with H.G. Perry for her book, A Far Better Thing, which I also read a couple of months ago. There is a review out for that one. Loved it. Wait, did I not put that one on the list? I did not put that one on the list. I think I had read it so long ago that I forget. Actually, you know what? It's already out. I take that back. That's why it wasn't on the list. It's already out. Now I'm second guessing myself. Hold that thought. A Far Better Thing. H.G. Perry. When did that book come out? Okay, so yeah, that book came out in June. That's why. We're just finally getting around to having an interview. That's why. There was no room in June. So, as you know, June I had 4 interviews in 4 weeks. So, H.G. Perry, that book is already out, and we're going to have that interview next month. That is it. Everything else is beyond that. You guys got questions, queries, conundrums, go ahead, drop them down in the comments. As always, thank you to my patrons. Love you guys. Every little bit helps. You can join the Patreon for $1, like 99 cents a month, if you want to, and help defray my. Well, let's face it. At 99 cents a month, you help defraying my soda cost. But I'm not greedy. All right. Also, feel free to join the Discord. That is also down in the links. Love talking to people there. Got a lot of ideas I get in there. Got a few other booktubers and stuff that hang out in there sometimes. And, come up with ideas, especially when it comes to author interviews, because that's kind of my thing. And other than that, I'm going to let you go. I hope you guys have a great month. I'm sorry this is late. And instead of waiting till next Friday to do the monthly wrap up, I may try to drop it earlier in the week so that I can get back up to my normal speed. All right, that's it. Take care, guys, and I will catch you later.